History, pedigree, rivalry. All of these buzzwords must have come to mind as fans entered the Garden to watch tonight's original six bout. This evening, the New York Rangers officially returned from break and played host to none other than the Boston Bruins. Even though Beantown's best would be without Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron, the Rangers would still have to deal with crafty skaters like Charlie McAvoy and elite offensive talent such as David Pastrnak, making tonight's game anything but a cakewalk. The beginning moments of the first period were about what you'd expect from a team that's returning from a break. The Blueshirts struggled to get the puck past the blue line and seemed out of sync. Boston didn't look fabulous either, but they were able to draw first blood thanks to a Charlie Coyle goal at 3:39. The rest of the first, well, that was like watching the hockey equivalent of hot potato, as neither club's offense was able to really control the puck. The Rangers specifically had a tricky time getting any shots on goal. In fact, they didn't register a single chance until we were more than 7 minutes into the initial frame. By the end of that first period, New York trailed in shots on goal by a mark of 8-2 and seemed collectively disoriented. After this one was over, Coach Gallant even spoke about how jarring the first 10 to 15 minutes truly were for his guys.
I mean, I think when I talked at 5 o'clock, it was sort of basically what I said it was going to be. We were a little bit, haven't had body contact for 2 weeks and you haven't played a game, so there was some rust in the first period.
The second period saw some improvement, numbers-wise. The Rangers did get more shots on net, but none of the chances seemed like the result of cohesive play. Credit should go to the line of Gauthier, Hunt, and Chytil, as they were able to scratch and claw for some much-needed production and puck movement. As far as scoring, however, the second was eerily silent. Neither unit could cash in. Igor Shesterkin and Jeremy Swayman went toe-to-toe the entire game, and each netminder really got locked in during the second frame. Heading into the final period, almost everyone in the Garden knew something had to give. Come on, it's Boston, New York. That combination never fails to disappoint. If history wasn't convincing enough, the organists played Boston Classic Dirty Water during the intermission. This one was bound to get wild, and it did not disappoint. The final frame of regulation saw a Rangers offense that looked as if they'd been given a jolt of electricity. At the 6:45 mark of the period, Filip Chytil rebounded his own shot attempt and then beat Swayman on another to tie the game at 1. The Garden woke up in a big way after the score, and that energy carried over to both the players and their respective goalies. Igor made a brilliant save on a Taylor Hall breakaway that was stunning, to say the least. Swayman was just as good between the pipes as he and his Bruins limboed their way out of a Rangers power play opportunity late in the third to keep things tied. Ultimately, no one could sneak one by a netminder the rest of regulation. Like so many great rivalry games, this one was headed to OT. Overtime was a continuation of the third period. Quite a few shots on net, but still no winner. With a little over 2 minutes to go in that extra time, while anticipating a Mike Riley setup pass, Craig Smith went gliding straight into Igor Shesterkin. Igor made the save, of course, but he was shaken up. A minute or two later, he was forced to leave the ice for concussion protocol. Igor slapped his stick on the glass as he exited, clearly not happy to be leaving in such a critical moment. Coach Gallant was forced to place Alexander Georgiev in the game with 40.5 seconds remaining in overtime. Luckily for the Garden faithful, nothing too eventful would happen in the final seconds, as this one was headed to a shootout. Just as everyone got set to go, Igor reemerged from the locker room. Like something straight out of a Greek play, the battered and bruised protagonist came onto the ice ready for one final stand. The shootout began with a goal from Boston's Jake Debrusk. Mika Zibanejad would follow through with one for New York. After a David Pastrnak miss, Panarin and Coyle would add to the tally, making the shootout score 2-2. Then came a long drought. Both Swayman and Igor made some truly Herculean-esque saves. All it would take 9 rounds to get this one finished, but eventually defenseman K'Andre Miller would connect, serving one right by the skate of Jeremy Swayman on the right side, making tonight's final the New York Rangers 2, the Boston Bruins 1. After the game, Igor Shesterkin spoke about being taken out and later coming back into the game, as well as his desire to come up clutch for both his team and the fans.
Ну, на самом деле я сильно погорячился, как клюшку ударил, там немножко эмоций потерял. Больше такого не повторится. Но когда обратно вышел на буллитную серию, стадион поддержал очень сильно, это придало энергии. Спасибо им большое за такую сумасшедшую поддержку.
Honestly, I did lose control of it when I got sent off. You saw me hitting the boards with my stick. That won't happen again, I promise. But when I came out, the stands just gave me so much energy that I couldn't do anything else but save the game.
The man who scored the game winner, K'Andre Miller, definitely feels moments such as the one he enjoyed tonight are a product of getting the little things right.
I mean, anytime you can help the team out to succeed and win, that's going to build that confidence. So I think just keeping with it and doing the little things right, and the bounces will come.
And so another memorable chapter of the Bruins-Rangers rivalry is in the books. New York will be back in action this Thursday as they duel with the Detroit Red Wings at the world's most famous arena. With WFUV Sports, I'm Colin Loughran.